Welcome to chapter number 5. Since I talked about before about the composition, now let's take a deep look on compositions. There is many ways to create composition in After Effects, but in the main goal to make a composition. So if you're a premium member of Udemy, you have access for the exercise file. In your chapter 5 folder, you can find the file understanding composition.aep. Go ahead and open that file. Now let's make a new composition. So the quick and easy way, just click on this little composition icon that say create a new composition. So let me click on this. Another dialog will open. So here you can type the composition name. You can change these all settings anytime by going into the composition setting. But for now, let me call it composition. And here I need to choose HDTV 1080 29.90 frame. And here is the width and height if you want to make any specific size of composition. I always like to select square pixels. Here is the frame rate 29.97. I'm happy with that. And here is the resolution of temporarily composition. You can anytime change this resolution, but this resolution cannot include in your final render. And here is the duration. So let me make for 10 seconds. And here is the background and then hit OK. Here we go. Now we have created the composition. And if you want to make any changes, all you need to do, go to the composition and composition setting. Control K is the short key. And let me set it 10 seconds from here because earlier we have selected 10 frames. Here we go. Now we have 10-second long composition. And if you click on this composition, so this composition contains some information, 1920 by 1080 and 29.97 frames per second. This composition is empty now. Let me add something on this composition to start working. If you need to add any layer that After Effects can generate, right click here and then go to the new and choose anything from here. But for now, let me choose a solid from here. Another dialog box will be appear for the solid settings. So let me call it background and then hit OK. You can make new composition that have the same size of your media. For this, let me go to the assets folder and down to the images and let me select this background. Let me click on this image and drag and drop on top of the new composition icon. Here we go. Now we have the same size that this media have. Let me quickly go to the composition and then go to the composition setting. And here you can see 5000 pixels by 2803 pixels. You can pre-compose the layers anytime. But before we make these layers into Precomp, so let me quickly close this. There is lots of way to delete the composition. You can select the composition and drag it here, or you can simply select the composition and press this delete selected project item. And here we go, we have delete. Okay, now let's import the background on this composition by selecting and dragging on the layer panel. And let me open the scale property by pressing the S key from keyboard and resize this a bit. Maybe something like this. Okay, now let me import the pink flower here and then open the scale property for this and scale it up. And now let me change the blending mode to multiply. That's look good for me. And set it somewhere here. Okay, let me uncheck the snapping so I can easily move the files. Here we go. And let's press the R for the rotation value. And if you hold the Alt key and then click on any keyframe, so an expression box will be appear. So I need to write a little expression for this. Let me type time star and 10. Here we go. Now if you take a ramp preview, so the flower will start moving. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now you can select these both files and then right click and Precompose. Precompose is a really powerful thing in Adobe After Effects. It's something like that you put some layers in a folder in Photoshop. So let me pre-compose this, and now we have another dialog and we call it background, and then hit OK. Here we go. Now all the files that we have selected before creating this pre-composition, the file will be moved on this composition. If I double click on this composition, so we have the same files. Let me close this for a moment, and here we go. Let me drag this into the composition so we have a clean and organized project. Spend some time to work with composition and pre-composition, and if you have any problem, feel free to ask me in Q&A section under this course. In the next chapter, we are going to talk about working with layers.